Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves a Scrap, and I'm coming to you from the land down under. Today I'm playing along with Stamp It Like It's Hot from Brianna with My Life on Paper, and there's a whole group of people playing along. Check out the list below. This is my layout that I've created for July, and we were asked to stamp a frame around our photos. So these photos here were taken up at Swansea, and we were down along the walkway under the bridge, and they had all these baby jellyfish down along the boat ramp. And so I took these photos and look at how clever these came out. They just look like a natural mosaic, and you can just see the little white jellyfish babies that were clustering along there, and I just have been looking for the right opportunity to scrap them, and this has turned itself up. So today I'm using a mixture of craft and white, and I've got some dyes that I want to add on, but I'm going to use a mix of stamps here to do my frame around my photos. I end up just using all the bubble type ones. I did have a cross-hatching one that I thought I might use, but I didn't in the end, and I have some other ones here with bubbles. So because it is the water, I've got a bubble dye and I've got a jellyfish dye that I want to incorporate into this as well. So, but first of all, I need to prep my cardstock and my photos. And this particular photo here, because I really want to hone in on the jellyfish that you can see really clearly in this photo. When you look at the close-up at the end, you'll see it a lot quicker and easier than you can right now. I'm using my Creative Memories circle cutters to cut it out. I pre-marked my page so I knew where the frame had to fit so that I would get the perfect circle with the full photo in it. I actually do not stamp as much as I should, which is really unusual, but this is my first time joining in on this hop, and I thought I would like to, use my stamps a bit more, and this lent itself perfectly. And I like the idea of stamping a frame around the photos, which is a great way of incorporating stamping into your layouts. So I have my 3 photos that I'm laying out now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark them off. And by marking them off, it lets me know where they're going to sit on the page so that I can come back and stamp around it. Pardon me, I'm just going to disappear for a second because I'm going to have a coughing fit. Back again, sorry about that. I will try and get through without too many coughing experiences. I've just got a bit of a cold and it's drying out my throat a bit. So I marked out the circle as well because I'm going to stamp around the frame of those photos. As I said, I'm using gathered twigs because I want to go with a sepia type effect for this whole layout because I want to marry the colours from the photos. And I'm using these big frames of bubbles, as you can see, to set off, and I'm doing those in a set of 3. Once again, my need for a balance between odds and the natural look of the page is very paramount to what I do. So you can see that I've done the 3 big large bubbles, which look very effective, and the gathered twigs allows that to give the sepia tones. Now, my friend Mel, she taught me to use the white eraser over the top of these clear stamps so that the ink will sit in them better, and that is something I didn't know before, and now I'm using it quite regularly. I'm getting cleaner prints with my stamps, so thanks Mel for that tip. It's great. I would never have thought to do that, and I am very appreciative because it's allowing the ink to go where I want it to go, and it's allowing these stamps to actually come out a lot clearer. Now, I do have stamp blocks, but I'm not sure where they are at the moment, and this here is from my die cutter, and the plate is great because I can see right through it, and it also holds the stamp easily. So multitasking with my tools, which is always helpful, and getting the best out of them. So you can see now that I have stamped up the frames around where my photos are going to sit, and I'm just going to add in these snail-like curls, which remind me of shells, just into the key points around the framing, and I'm adding one to the top and one to the bottom corner frame just to tie it all together, and so you'll see I have that in odds as well, and that's in a set of 5. I'm just going to distress the outline so that this edging will not just blend into the backing paper I'm using, but it will just give that finishing touch that it needs. Now I'm going to tear this just to add a little bit of interest to the page, and I'm going to take out a little section here in the middle, which I will then rough up with my distressing tool and ink as well, because I just want to have a little bit of a different look on the page, and I also want that underneath paper to show through somewhere through the layout, but not be dominant in the layout, if that's clear enough. But you'll see when it comes together, it has like a peekaboo effect on the page. So I'm just going to ink the edges here just to keep that continuity in the layout. And you'll notice later on when I come through this layout that I actually tear another section out in the bottom left hand, just because the photos cover up so much of the tear. I just wanted to add some more of that under paper coming through. And the white doilies on that paper just contribute to the effect of the jellyfish on the stones on that boat ramp. So I'll just adhere these down. I use double-sided tape for everything. I haven't used tape runners very much. I tend to have a lot of trouble using them, so double-sided tape is my friend. And I'm just adding this in as I want it. Now that backing paper is a Kaisercraft paper. I've had that for ages. I've had so many of them that I'm just using it now as a peekaboo, not as a full feature. As you can see, I tore another piece there so that I could have more of that peekaboo coming through on the layout. And the white lace doily underneath just complements with the reverse of the sepia and white. So I'm layering up my photos, and as you can see, my stamping has now framed my photos, which is what we needed to do for this challenge. And it's looking like it's an undersea, underwater layout, which is what I was going for. I'm adding in some seaweed here, which I have die cut using the craft cardstock that I've used to mount my photos and do my title. My title I did on my Cricut Joy, and as you can see, I'm calling it Nature's Mosaic, because that's exactly what this was. It was a mosaic from the boat ramp, the water, and the jellyfish, so they naturally came together. I have my framed stamping around the outside, which is pretty good for me. Did lots of stamping on this layout. I'm pretty impressed. I'm adding in some pops of colour here, which I am then going to give a flick from underneath, and that allows them to turn into an enamel dot sort of effect. And it's in the set of 3 to setting up that visual triangle for your eye to roam around the page without you even actually acknowledging that it's happening. I'm just putting in the journaling saying it's jellyfish at Swansea, because that's where it was. And that's all I'm adding to this layout. And I'm actually pretty thrilled. I'm really sorry about the glare at the top. I didn't realise when I was filming it that glare was happening, so I'm going to have to adjust my lighting, I think, so that that's not happening on my pages. So here it is. There's some stamping in the corner. You can see stamping around the frames. I've got some die cuts happening. I've got a peekaboo tear through there. But that stamping, I'm pretty impressed. I don't know why I don't stamp. I really should do a bit more of it. This was a great challenge to do it. As I said before, down below will be a list of all the people that are playing along. I'm really excited to have been part of this one. I love the finished outcome. That just looks so natural and so real. I loved those photos when I took them, and I'm really glad I held off scrapping them until I had the right idea for them. And as you can see, the stamping is there. The die cuts emulate the stamping, and they all just blend nicely to give that natural underwater feel that you can see. And look, you can see those jellyfish just through those photos. They were just amazing photos. I cannot believe how good they turned out. So here's my layout. I hope there's something here that inspires you to pull your stamps out. Remember, I'm Kathy from Kathy Loves to Scrap. If you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you're liking my content. If you haven't already subscribed, do it. Please, it's free. And if you are subscribed, thanks for coming back. Leave me a comment. I'll always get back to you. You can find me on all my socials under that. It's Kathy Loves to Scrap. On Instagram, where all my layouts end up as well, even those without videos. I thank you for joining me. Happy scrapping. Until next time.